from South America, the 2020 Dakar Rally crossed oceans to land in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
I've always loved the Dakar because I've been on bikes, and every year come January we always look forward to the beginning of the year. My dad's loved Dakar, so I've grown up watching it my whole life but never wanted to race it. In 2016 I got asked an interview by a journalist, and he said to me, you know, you've done really well in the hard enduro career, you've done all the extreme races and you've been the first female to finish most of them, like what's next? And I was like, I actually don't even know what's next. And then he said to me, what about the Dakar Rally? And I said to him, listen, if you came and dropped a big bag of money at my front door, offered me a factory ride, I would say thank you but no thank you, but that's because of my accident. Yeah, we're racing in the Botswana Desert 1000. 2 days of racing, 500 kilometers on one day, 500 on the next day. Where I fell was a tree stump waist height, and I impacted with my stomach. 1 in 4 people survived the injuries I sustained. What had happened is I had severed my pancreas off my small intestine, and yeah, so they opened me up, cleaned me out, put me into an induced coma, went on to life support because I was on so much morphine that my heart stopped beating. Coming back from that, I swore to never take another day for granted, and I'm very, very fortunate to say that I got a second chance at life. I've had developed a very big fear of going fast, high-speed racing, you know, because where I crashed was desert racing. It's fast, it's dusty, it's high speeds. So at the same time as it was cool to become the first African woman to finish the Dakar Rally, but I think the biggest thing for me was trying to come over that emotional fear of high speed. It's kind of stupid. You survived a high-speed race. So I go back to a race where nearly someone dies every year, you know. It's such a physically demanding sport. I think what drives me is how difficult it is, and it's also doing something that hasn't been done before. I doubted myself a lot. Not necessarily my abilities, but letting everybody down. I think that was my biggest worry, was letting people down. You know, it wasn't just a sacrifice from my side, it's a sacrifice from my partners, my family, my mom, my dad. You know, the time prepping to get there, my manager, we had spent so much time. It took us 2 years to prep for the race. Good morning from the beautiful Saudi Arabian desert. As you can see, you've got the sunrise over there. It's unreal to be here. Strong mindset is probably the biggest thing, and my strongest attribute within racing. The whole Dakar Rally is just, it's all in your head. You know, to sit on the bike for 12 hours every day. I just took each day as a race, you know, as one race, one day was one race, you know. The cold got to me the worst. It was freezing cold. But the biggest thing for me was the fear of crashing. Every day saying goodbye to my partner and to Brad, like, I would cry, and it was terrible because Dakar's scary, you know, and it's fast. I don't want to cry, and it was very emotional. But yeah, it was scary, but it's, you know, I put myself in that situation. And I wanted to do it to overcome my fears. It was an incredible journey, but it was very scary. Keep the wheels turning and get to the finish. That's the goal for the Dakar, get to the finish. Every single race that I do, my goal is to get to the finish line. I just said to myself, breathe, stay calm. And you do this because you love it. And I had to keep reminding myself that the whole time, and because I got to this point in my career because of passion. My goal was there to finish, and there was no way I wasn't going to do it. Come hell or high water, I was going to get to the finish line. It was the longest 12 days of my life, but I look back at it now and it was the fastest 12 days of my life. I mean, watched that video and I was like, I've done the Dakar, I can't believe it. At the age of 29, I finished the Dakar Rally. It doesn't feel real. Nice and shiny, and it says finisher on the back.